Welcome to 2 on the 10.
Oh, we back, baby. 2 on the 10.
Yes, sir.
I'm Paul.
I'm Mitch.
Greedy.
Oh, man. I clear my throat there.
You clear my throat.
You sound like Denzel there for a second. Denzizzy. Anyway, we back for another week, man. It's an eventful week. Every week it seems like as we get closer and closer to the new year, more and more shit just comes
Exactly.
out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I think that's kind of how, if I remember correctly, it's kind of how 2024 rolled in. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of crazy coming into the first of the year and stuff like that, and then kind of calmed down after that. But it seems like we're about to start it up again because a lot of things. I mean, we talked about crypto last week. Bitcoin at 100, but this week shit just got even crazier. So we're gonna get to it.
A lot to talk about. Probably not going to be able to finish it, but we're going to have a full show, so you definitely want to tune in.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna definitely talk about it. But first things first, we gotta get to how was your weekend?
Mine was cool. I'm going to try and keep it short just because I know we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But no, mine was cool. The weather, the weather out here is very, it's what we paid for, what we put in the 5 months of summer, like I like to call it. And it's getting colder, as you can see how we're even dressed today. Like you got the hoodie, although someone stole your sleeves. You got the jacket, I got the hoodie on. You know what I mean? It's like you could tell, what weather we're in right now here in AZ. But it is getting colder now. But last week was beautiful. So perfect bike weather. So I wanted to hit the bike up, smoke some cigars on patios, stuff like that. So we did that, a little bit. As far as food spots, there was two things I hit up that one had to follow up and go to Gilbert Pizza. Nick had on the show the week before had talked about their chicken parm pizza. So we had to go check it out. And first of all, I'll say that is amazing. If you like chicken parm, definitely check out that pizza. Again, I know we talked about the show before, but from everything from the sesame seed crust to the vodka sauce to the way they did the chicken, very, very light, not really breaded, very light, breaded. But and then they also did this clumps of like white cheese on it too. It tasted better than a lot of places chicken parm pasta. Some will argue, well, if I just want chicken parm, why wouldn't I just get pasta? But again, that's the novelty of the pizza. You can get one slice of it, But yeah, probably goes to the top of my specialty pizzas list.
Okay.
Yeah, so that. And then speaking of specialty pizzas, right there coming in 2 or 3, I was able to, Sal and his wife were making their first ever cheeseburger pizza.
Oh yeah, how was it?
So that was amazing too. His wife actually thought it was better than the chicken parm. There was like an argument that they wanted me to, like, what do you rate both of these? I go, the chicken parm I rate a 9.5, the cheeseburger I rate a 9.
Okay.
And the cheeseburger was amazing. I took the tomatoes and onions off, just because that's me, whatever. I said if they add pickles, it's a really like a Big Mac. It tastes like a Big Mac. But so that was good. Got to check that out. And then the other, the other food spot. Oh, okay, yeah, went to a spot that actually my chiropractor told me about because she's from New York. And she was like, oh, we like to go to authentic New York places for, and stuff. And I mentioned one that I really liked. And she goes, oh, we went there once. And they had the tri-colored pasta, so they couldn't have been making their own pasta. This place makes their own pasta. They do their own sauces, their cheeses, stuff, whatever. So, and it's called, I thought it was called Pacino's, but it's actually just like the actor Pacino's.
Pacino's.
And in fact, they play on The Godfather.
Oh, really?
And all that stuff. Yeah, a little bit. And
Where's that at?
It's over in Las Sendas.
Oh, Las Sendas. Okay.
So okay, that one area with the nice shops right before you hit the 202?
Yep.
It's right in there.
Okay.
So, and they have it's crazy because it's a restaurant, but then they have a band that plays.
It used to be Red, White, and Brew used to be in there.
Oh, do they? Okay, I know they're across the street on down the street by the Home Depot.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyway, they got like a band that plays certain nights. They got specials, like their Monday night special. They're like catch the game with them or whatever. It's like a 10-inch pizza, and it said any pint draft for $10.
Oh wow!
I was like, that's a deal. It's like a pint at that place. I would think be $7, $8.
Right.
So anyway, we went. I took my mom too because she really wanted to get some Italian food.
Okay.
So man, we tried a bunch of different stuff. I'll just say this, and I don't even remember what they
got
called
chicken
it.
parm?
Yeah, they have a chicken parm. So I got what they call, of course, they flipped the Olive Garden. You know how Olive Garden has the tour of Italy. They have the taste of Italy. It's like McDowell's and McDonald's. They got the golden arches. We got the golden arcs. So I had the taste of Italy there. So it's got you the chicken parm, the lasagna, and then the Alfredo. And I'm gonna be completely honest, very good plate. But I'm pretty picky. We got some good options. Love the lasagna. One of the best lasagnas I've had. The Alfredo was kind of bland to me. Chicken parm. To be honest, I thought Sal's Pizza was better than the chicken parm. And I'm not knocking it. The chicken parm was decent. But but again, I would definitely do the lasagna again. Now the other dishes they had, Chris had this braised short rib pesto ravioli. Freaking amazing.
Really good. Yeah.
Amazing. Their pesto sauce, amazing. The only thing is I don't know about you guys, but when you order raviolis and they're 20 plus, $25, I don't know any place that gives you enough to justify what you could get with something else in a pasta. That's just me. Is that just me? Like you go to
Here's
here's
like five or six raviolis.
5 or 6 raviolis. Here you
Like, what
go.
am I gonna do with that?
Exactly. And then they charge you the price of like a plate that whatever. So but those raviolis were phenomenal. And then my mom ordered some, which was like, I can't remember it. Can't even remember what it's called, but it was basically a pork shank.
Oh, pork ossobuco.
Yeah, ossobuco. Thank you. I couldn't even remember that. Thank
It's
you.
one of my favorite slept-on dishes.
Yeah.
If a
And
duck place does it right, it's good.
And actually was and so anyway, it was amazing. It fell right off the bone.
Yeah.
There was so much of it. It looks almost like a tomahawk steak sticking in.
Really?
Yeah, like risotto, and stuff. And it was phenomenal. Okay. Definitely worth. I think it was like $30. It was definitely worth it. Okay. So yeah, and then they had a good tiramisu. They had a good what's it called? Limoncello cake or whatever and stuff. So it was a good spot. It was a good spot. We tried a bunch of stuff. Even had what's it called? What was the? We had the Brussels sprouts and stuff, and then some meatball sliders for happy hour. So we tried a lot of different things. So again, if you guys get a chance, definitely check out Pacino's. Okay. Definitely a good Italian spot. And then as far as just the rest of the weekend, man, it was just kind of chilled. Hit the bike, hit up a couple spots. Went to Dos Gringos and then for daytime. Man, if anybody's in the area, knows Dos Gringos, man, definitely recheck them out. It's kind of played out. They're not doing too much to the scenery and stuff, but they have DJs Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights again, the Mesa one at least, and their prices are off the charts now. Right now they have a deal where they have Tecate Light for $2.50 all day. Okay. And then even better, they have Heineken and everything for $3 all day. And I didn't know this, by the way, but I guess Heineken owns Tecate.
Really?
Yeah. So they have a lot of $3 beers, a lot of $2.50 beers all day. And then they have happy hour every day, every day from 3 to 6. Okay. And so I think I sent a picture to you guys of something I had. Let's put it this way: we had 4 beers between us, right?
Right.
Just we popped in real quick. 4 beers. I had a monster taco, this huge ass taco. We had the mini chimichangas.
Okay.
And we had the queso dip. I got out of there $31.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
shit.
This is
hell of a deal.
We were talking earlier about the economy and grocery shopping and all that shit, and just what choices are at that place. So definitely check out Dose. And that was my quick version of my weekend.
Okay, all right. I would hate to see it over.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, go ahead. Greedy.
Well, my weekend, I hit the Dusty Trail, went out to Oklahoma, Tulsa, to see my sister. And
But it happened.
You run into the Tulsa King?
I didn't see the Tulsa King, and I didn't see D. I hit him up. He wasn't feeling good, I don't think, on Friday. So
Gotcha.
But I'll catch up with him next time I'm in town. But
Gotcha.
Just went there, and that's some small town living. I'll tell you that. But just spent a lot of time with family. Speaking of riding bikes, Mitch, I got on a little motorcycle. It was a little motorcycle for the kids, little dirt bike. It goes like 15 miles an hour if you turn the governor down. And then I think it gets up to like 25 or 30. And I was just scooting around. My cousin's on 5 acres. He's got like a little pond in the back. And so just zipping around the land there. It was pretty dope. And then hit a couple of good food spots out there. We went to this burger place. I can't even tell you the name of it now, but The burgers were amazing. They were all specialty burgers, and some of them, they got these cheeseburgers, and they give you a big, huge bowl of queso, and you just dip the whole burger in the cheese.
Oh shit. Okay.
And it looked phenomenal. I was like, damn, I wish I would have got that.
meal.
I wish I would have got that. And then also went to this, it's called Patriot Cafe, this little cafe in a town called Sapulpa, which is like a podunk little town. Crazy enough, as we're driving through town, there was a Mason's Lodge 2 doors down from the police station.
Oh, really?
And it was one of the biggest like buildings in the town. I was like, damn.
Shit. Did you go in?
Masonic? No, I just saw it had the little triangle things and the little eye in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So when you were at Patriot Burger, did you wear your Kamala T-shirt in?
I did not. And yeah, they probably wouldn't have liked that.
And your Biden hat?
But they had country fried chicken. Oh my, the fried chicken there was so good. And then they put the gravy on it, the mashed potatoes.
Sounds so good.
Oh my
That
God,
does sound good.
it was so good. Just that's how like country fried chicken should be. It was a big juicy piece of chicken, fully breaded with like this crispy breading that was really flavorful, and then the gravy over the top. Man, I was like, damn, this place is good. So got to have some, kind of southern. I guess you could consider Oklahoma southern somewhat, but food and yeah, just spent time with the family. My sister now, she's up to 5 kids because she adopted one and is fostering another, plus her 3. And then 2 of my cousins live there. They each have 2, and they're all like in the 12 to 6 range.
It's one happy family, huh? Little Brady Bunch.
When all the kids are around, man, it is a madhouse. I don't know how they do it, because that was driving me crazy. I was like, wow, it's loud. Every 5 minutes, someone's screaming, blood-curdling scream, like the end of the world. They got hit in the head. They fell off of this. They did this.
What would you compare Tulsa to, just out of curiosity?
Tulsa, it reminds me a little bit of Tucson, but like even the downtown Tulsa is pretty small, because we went to downtown and we went to this cool little pizza spot. It was called Empire Pizza, which I was like, oh, they have an Empire Pizza in Tucson. I wonder if they're related. And no one knew, but almost had the same flavor of the pizza too. But the pizza was pretty good. It was a cool little spot. And yeah, but it's just, everything's kind of small. Now, I will say probably 10 years, downtown Tulsa is going to be probably the hot spot now. There's so much construction going on. They're building condos, all kinds of stuff down there. So they're definitely revitalizing or building the downtown area up.
A lot of folks, like I said, my son, my ex-wife, they all moved out there. So
I will just say
they got a lot of opportunity out there.
it's the housing market there is prime right now, because you can get like I said, my cousin's house is on 5 acres. His house is, I think, over 4,000 square feet. And I want to say he paid somewhere, in the neighborhood of 600 for it.
There you go.
Or, out anywhere else, that's, 1.2, 1.5 million for 5 acres and 4,000 square foot house.
Right.
And the house is beautiful. So, there's definitely opportunity there. It's very peaceful. It's a beautiful place. The crazy thing is, you think Oklahoma, you think tornadoes, but the Tulsa area, because of kind of how it's situated and it's a little more hilly, they don't get tornadoes as much as like Oklahoma City and then the flatlands. My sister's been there, I want to say 5 or 6 years. They've had a couple warnings. I don't think they've ever had any touchdown within, 15, 20 miles of her house. So
There you go.
So, but yeah, definitely a cool place. Got cold towards the last 2 days I was there. The last day was just like a cold, misty, gray rain just all day. So you like walk and my glasses were getting all fogged up and misty. And
Like when you watch your soap operas?
yeah, when I watch my soap operas and other stuff. But yeah, it would definitely be a place that if I was looking to retire and like settle down and wanted more of like a quiet life, that would definitely be a place to go. The expensive stuff, like even that cafe we went to, that country fried chicken was like $12. Where any place else you go, it's going to be like $20 or.
I like Tulsa without knowing too much about it. I've done a
Yeah.
little homework on it. But just out of curiosity, what do you think of the job market there, or lack of? Or do you think it's?
I guess I don't really know. My brother-in-law, who's in the medical industry, he was able to get a job there pretty quick. And then my cousin that moved there, he does insurance, so he can pretty much do that from anywhere. And then my other cousin that moved there, her husband, found a job pretty quick, and he's doing some sales stuff and
there you
making pretty good money. So there's definitely opportunity there. I wouldn't say it's like you're not going to go there. Yeah, it's not like the hot spot, but there's definitely a lot going on. The only thing I will say Tulsa is missing, they don't have a major league sports team. The closest one is OKC. It's 2 hours away. And then you do have the Oklahoma State football team is about 45 minutes outside of Tulsa.
There you go.
And then it's really, you're like 4.5 hours to Dallas. You're like 4.5 hours to Kansas City.
That ain't bad though.
So you're right in the
essentially,
mix.
yeah.
That's like from us to Vegas.
Yeah, you're right in the mix of if you wanted to catch something, you could go to Oklahoma City, you could go up and see the Chiefs play, go down and see the Cowboys play. So it's definitely, and then you have the river that comes through the town, the Arkansas River goes through there. So you got a little like water, people fish and boat, and you know, it's definitely more of a country life. You know, I kind of walking around sometimes felt like I was at a place a little more city than what they're used to, but
But you say that about walking around out here too.
yeah, you know I'm hood, so. But yeah, it's definitely a place if you're looking for, you know, to slow down the life a little bit and you want to get out and affordable and a lot of land, and you can have, you know, my cousin has chickens and goats and he's buying a cow and some donkeys, and like I said, he's got a pond in his backyard. So I mean, you can your money really stretches out there, and it's definitely a place that if you're looking to get out of the big city and go somewhere cool, it's definitely a cool place to be.
Dope.
You heard it first.
And they got a lot of casinos there too, a lot of Indian casinos. So
There you go.
that's all.
Stallone owns one.
And a ton, probably more than I've ever seen in any place, dispensaries. Every corner there was a dispensary.
Yep.
Sometimes there was two next to each other. You drive and another block down, there's another dispensary. I was like,
So easy to get a license out there. So
yeah, so they're everywhere. But the crazy thing is, you never smell weed anywhere I went, which is crazy because, you know, you go to like LA or San Diego, that's all you smell when you're walking around. But there, didn't really smell it, but you can definitely get it everywhere. A lot of the places even advertise because it's only medical there, but like doctors on staff.
Yep.
Come and get your card today.
yeah, I remember how that shit.
I remember those days. But yeah, that was my weekend. Just did the Tulsa thing. I will say Southwest Airlines got my trip off to a bad start, 3-hour delay. I guess there was fog in California that was like delaying planes like hour, 2 hours. So I was, you know, my plane coming from California, I was supposed to leave and my plane was still sitting on the tarmac in California. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not taking off anytime soon. So I did have a couple Bloody Marys at the airport and a few drinks before I got on the plane. So
There you go.
overall, you know, Southwest, as I call them, they made up for it on the way home. There's only like 70 people on the flight. So,
You got to stretch out.
yep.
There you go. I'm gonna make my weekend was short, and I'll make it short on the show. Basically, just went to a birthday party. A lot of December birthdays. Sagittarius, my girl's a Sagittarius. Her birthday's coming up here too. But just chill, man. That's what I've been doing as of late. You know, you travel so much early in the year. You know, it gets around this time. Like I said, I hate this time of year. My girl just started putting up Christmas, decorations around the house. And just, I don't know, bro. I need the first of the year, hurry up and get here and get over with so we can break it in 2005 and see all the other good shit and get out of this.
2005, go back in the time machine.
I mean, 2025. Sorry about that. Shit, I'm already ready for the Phoenix Open. Hurry up, you know what I'm saying? So, but that being said, man, let's get into our, our topics here. Bro. So, since we last left, we talked about the CEO shooting, UnitedHealthcare. Well, they supposedly right now caught the supposed shooter. They caught him at a McDonald's.
Check the eyebrows.
Yeah. He was having breakfast there. One of the workers recognized him from the TV and the posters and stuff like that,
And McSnitched.
and called 911. They showed up. The cat had his manifesto on him.
Of course.
He had his. He did have the ghost gun on him. He had a silencer on him. He had multiple IDs and his passport. $8,000 in cash, $2,000 in foreign currency. They were saying he was trying to get caught. But let's talk about this whole thing in general. How it looks. How, like I said, what we call my conspiracy? No, my coincidence, brother.
No, anti coincidence.
Anti-coincidence theorist over here. I'm really in his boat right now on this one because this is like too convenient. Things don't add up. But we're going to talk about this right now. So, of course, like I said, they had called 911. They caught the cat, and obviously, they said he was kind of agitated at first, stuff like that. But then, they took him to the courthouse. It's a big deal. And here's my thing. First of all, if you just shot a CEO, let's just talk about anybody that's up here in this panel. Unless you wanted to get caught, it was no way you're walking around with the gun that shot the cat, right? The silencer on him, the money, and the fake ID. Bro, first of all, you're throwing the gun away. I mean, if he was so good of getting out of downtown New York,
Exactly.
untraced, you telling me this cat is dumb enough to keep all this shit on him?
And here's the crazy part. They supposedly found his backpack in Central Park. So how did he carry a gun with a silencer and all this other stuff out of there if he left his backpack and his jacket? So he didn't have his jacket on. He didn't have his backpack. So where was the gun and everything else?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And he's walking around.
Yeah. First of all, how to get out of Central Park, like you said, without being seen.
How
But
do you
then,
pass facial recognition? We brought this up last week.
yes.
You
So
know?
how do you pass facial? I mean, New York's one of the most digitized cities in the world.
Well, they said that's allegedly how they were able to track him is they were able to catch him on different feeds and find out kind of his part of his movements throughout the city. Obviously with facial recognition, it's always going to be after the fact because, they have to get the feeds in, they have to analyze them, and then they can pinpoint kind of where he's been. They're usually like hours to a day or two behind the actual where he was. But the Luigi Mangione, a good Italian boy, I guess, just some weird stuff with him. A lot of hints. Like they said, they found his backpack had Monopoly money in it, and then
He's caught at McDonald's.
He's got caught at McDonald's, and he has posts on Instagram with a Happy Meal, holding up a Happy Meal, and just a lot of weird stuff that just doesn't make sense if you're somewhat
The number
skilled.
286.
Yeah, 286.
And
286
supposedly he had a YouTube channel that has been taken down since. But basically, it said if you see this YouTube channel and it's counting down, then I've been caught. I guess there was supposed to be other videos that come out after that, but supposedly the YouTube channels was taken down. They were saying it started after he was caught. So is there somebody else that was supposedly working with this cat, or is this even him to begin with? We just talked about facial recognition. One of the things, if you see, and if you look at it, so the cat has these like bushy ass eyebrows. It almost looks like a damn unibrow, right?
Like Gargamel.
Yeah.
Smurfs.
But if you look at one of the photos of the shooter, he has trimmed eyebrows and basically it's
A big gap between
a big gap between them. And what are we talking about? Less than a week, because we talked about this on the last week's show. So this is less than a week away. Your eyebrows ain't growing back that fast, bro. I don't care. They joked about, oh, he's an Italian. No. Listen, Italian folks, some Italian folks are hairy, but they don't grow hair that fast. You know
I don't know. I fully shaved my whole beard yesterday, so I don't know if I believe
Well,
it.
you're a fucking ass werewolf, so
No, but here's the other interesting point. They haven't charged him with anything yet.
Well, they
Other
charged
than
him with
they
the
charged him with the
gun.
gun.
Yeah.
They haven't charged him with anything in New York. And now supposedly there's rumors that they found fingerprints of his at the scene, and some other stuff. It's just a lot of weird stuff.
A lot of it doesn't make sense. And I'll start with the first for something else too. Did you know that they're not going to most likely give the McDonald's employee the reward?
Yeah, they won't, because he called
911.
or he or she called it in on 911
hotline.
instead of the hotline.
I heard it was a she, right?
I don't know who it was. Supposedly the name's out there, and by the way, that McDonald's has been getting bombarded
yeah.
negative publicity, and I think they're like a 1-star McDonald's.
Well, let's talk about this. Thanks for bringing that up, because that reminds me. Again, this guy's like a cult hero right now.
Yeah.
And this is something, and again, I don't go by patterns, because I think a lot of times they always are trying to like write the narratives. But this is pretty crazy. This even surprised me that so many people are just behind this guy. It's almost like the PSYOP OJ Part 2, but for different purposes. Like, I actually think OJ, now going back, was a PSYOP.
Really?
I really do. In the early 90s, I was involved in that too, because, again, I think I mentioned before in a previous show, my apologies to Mr. Goldman and them, because at the time when, I wasn't that cold or that cruel, but I remember when he get on the air and he start crying about his daughter and stuff, or, about his son, about his son, I remember people would seriously shut up or whatever, like they had no heart, no whatever, because they were so cheering OJ. And again, the people that were backing OJ, I think they'll tell you, guilty or not guilty, they didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck. And you're starting to get to that point again, but in a different way. And it's just interesting how that, as an older adult, I look back and I'm actually embarrassed by how I acted back then. Like, I sit there and go, what made me think that? That's not right. And actually, I'm like, fuck OJ. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, if he killed those people, he deserves the chair, But back then, I wasn't like that, And so it's interesting because this is almost like a different kind of mind twist, because it's like, you got people, you killed a guy in broad daylight, a family man. And yeah, he may have been part of a crooked operation. And I'm not saying it, too much more, other than like it could be a scam, whatever else. Like some of the stuff that was going on with the healthcare system. I really do believe that, in the kickbacks. First of all, where did it start and where does it end? I know he's a figurehead, and I know he didn't make profits from him. That's how he got to his spot. But for people to cheer, and be happy and say he should, like if all you have to do is read the comments and check the temperature. There's comments from girls going, "I'll marry you,"
Right.
to people going, "Oh, they better get a jury. The jury better not convict him." And I'm cheering for him, and I can't wait.
Right.
He's a cold hero.
I think he's tapped into what's going on in America right now. Especially in the healthcare system, and that's why it's a hot button topic during any election time. You know what I'm saying? Healthcare, because it is so costly in our country and stuff like that. And you spoke on it many times about the corruption that's in there. You have a drug that may cost, a couple dollars to produce, but then, you've seen bills, they charge, the hospital or somebody, or charging, somebody's getting that markup, 1,000% markup, that $2 prescription that should be $2 now is costing you $1,000, you know what I'm saying? And I think he was tapping into so many Americans' feelings about how they feel about our healthcare in general.
Let's not even get to you diagnose someone with COVID that can't now see their family for how many every days till they die. We haven't even touched on that. Really, open that door too. And then also the 29,000 or how much ever dollars they would get for it being COVID. So again, I get it. And I think we're at the tip of the iceberg. And it's I'll just say this, like the people treating him like a cold hero. There's also posters right now that are floating around New York with other healthcare CEOs on them,
right?
Like wanted posters.
Well, I know just this week, companies have been ripping their CEOs off their website for the fear of their life. They don't want people to be able to go and look up, who's the CEO of the company, because they fear this might be a trend. They might start getting targeted and stuff like that. First of all, we don't know if this kid, and like I said, I'm in your boat right now because, stuff just don't make sense right now. And so I'm definitely not coming out and saying this kid did it. You know what I'm saying? I thought, it kind of reminded me of kind of back in the day, JFK, when Lee Harvey Oswald came out and said, I'm the patsy in this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And for this kid to say, I don't know what that money, he stood up in court and says, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know where the money came from. And there was one other items that he had like, one thing though he didn't dispute was, and I think maybe he just shut his mouth on it, was the ghost gun and the silencer. You know what I'm saying? And again, even the dumbest criminal knows not to keep the murder weapon around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if you made it that far away from
this
the
dude's-
murder scene,
yes.
so many places you could have dumped it.
And this dude's IQ, supposedly this dude's he went to Ivy League school. His IQ is off the charts. But you want to sit here and say this dude sat up wanting to get caught? Like, I mean, he's going to keep all this evidence on him.
No, I agree. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, there's probably way more motives. Like I said, they're looking at it as a 6D chess move. We're looking at it as checkers.
Right.
We're looking at it looking for one thing involved with this case, with the details that we've been given,
Right.
and we're trying to piece it together. Whereas they're doing 10 different plays that get us to think about something that's not even in this subject. And I think all of it has to, in my opinion, again, the conspiracy person in me goes, it's all pushing for the reset of everything. We're getting tired of everything. We're getting tired of the healthcare system. We want it broken. We want people to demand it. We want people to be angry. We want people to think that they're actually getting their rights, like that people are happy because they feel like they have a say. People with no voice have a say.
So what do? We come up in arms and we protest and stuff like that.
And then they say, "Hey, we've got it for you. We'll take care of it. We hear your protest, and here's what we're going to package for you."
Okay.
And again,
And you roll out some new
Yeah.
healthcare plan or something like that.
Probably tied into a whole bunch of other shit.
Gotcha.
And again, where our freedoms, we don't even realize it. It's the same playbook. Whether it was Pearl Harbor and they allowed Pearl Harbor to possibly happen and to get the results they wanted. Whether it was
9/11?
9/11, of course. I mean, look at all you have to do is look at the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act, people look the other way, and of course it sounds justified because we're all angry at somebody else, and they pull the rug under you.
Yeah, and I mean, it pulled a lot of liberties, civil liberties away from the Patriot Act. You know what I'm saying?
Without a doubt. In fact, if they, define what is terroristic threats, and they could hold you without a due process, and don't even have to charge you. You know what I mean? These are things that should be scary for anybody, but we're gonna go ahead and usher in. Because again, I said it with the robots, I said it with the crime, I'm saying it with, a lot of the stuff. We're sick, we're tired, we want to be part of a change. And so we're going to be overly zealous to change, and we're going to we're going to get duped, in my opinion, into a system that's going to pull the rug under us again, but for the final play and the final act.
Right.
You
So here's my question. I mean, just playing off what you're saying, is this a bigger play at it where they're going to change our healthcare system as we know it today?
I think so. Yeah, without a doubt. I think so. I mean, and again, whether that takes 5 years, and again, I'm still pushing the 2030 date for a lot of major shit, but whether it's 5 years or whether it's 20 years, yeah, I think so.
Are we looking at a socialist healthcare? I mean, that's the only way you take care of the masses.
I mean, they could also tie in your social score with your ability to get health care. So, your social score is too low. You've been talking bad about the government or this or that. Now you're not going to get the treatment you need.
Or you're not going to get the extra points.
Yeah.
Or the point system. You earn your points. You sit there. You be a good follower.
Yep.
You toot you don't ruffle things up. You don't. I mean, we're already getting trained this. We'll talk about it later. Remind me to bring up the word conspiracy, and when we talk about people being accused later or something.
Okay.
But again, it's funny because they we always hear what goes on in China 5-10 years beforehand. It's never come to America, and then it does quickly, and then all of a sudden we sit there, and by that time 3/4 of the people are happy about it. The same people that are like, "Oh, I'll never do this. I'll never,"
It's getting conditioned.
Exactly.
You know,
That's my point on everything.
When you condition anyone to accept it, then you just go with the flow.
Without a doubt, after you hear it over and over and over and over
it
and
just
over
becomes
again,
norm.
it gets you down. And that's what I say happens to the next generation, the generation after us, including even the funny stuff that we talked about before, like, cross dressers in bathrooms and stuff like that. I think the generations after us are going to be like, no big deal.
You got you.
Because we keep hearing it.
Right.
We're coming to the end of the, in my opinion, the Hollywood and celebrity and all that stuff. I mean, it's into influencers, and it's into, and I think they pulled a fast one on us. I really do. I think they've always used Hollywood and music to kind of influence us and to kind of blind us and to have us almost idolize. That's why they call people idols.
So here's my thing. So you think we've gone towards the influencers because they're easy controllable, then they're like Hollywood actors and stuff like that? Because now these influencers are doing this from their house. They're not out, in the public. They're not coming big events. They're not doing big movie premieres and stuff
tell
like
you
that.
what,
And everything's being done on Netflix.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's even simpler than that. I think people, have you ever noticed on social media, the mentality of people want to take a picture now with somebody else, and it's always the person taking the picture with the person with the higher perceived ranking. It's never the other way around. And it's like, oh, this is my bro. And it's like level up, level up, level up. And it's like, it's almost like they're adopting the whole, well, if these people are who you hang around, or if you take a picture with, this is the success level you'll be at, or the perception of success, or the perception of your reality. And it seems like people want to level up on social media and take pictures with higher up. So it could be, oh, that person, and almost anybody is popular. I mean, anybody now. I should have thought about this years ago. It didn't really hit me. I'll use a perfect example. And I know we're getting a little off topic, but this is all brain manipulation and how things aren't what we, if we really think about it, why are we doing the things we're doing? Like, for example, Nick, obviously, my history in the clothing game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a little weird to me on two things in the clothing industry. And I've been in the clothing, you can check my resume on it, with stores and clothing lines and different things like that since 2011, 2010. And one of the stores is still existing to this day. Shout out to Ryan, who was my little brother and business partner at the time. He's taken it to other levels. With that said, I remember when you could, like if you were dead, like, for example, Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy, he was popular for a quick second, most popular thing ever.
Right.
Too popular, folds, right? Music, trash. No one will listen to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Song here, song there. All of a sudden, we're in the social media era, 2011, 12. All of a sudden, I see him on a poster at Tilly's, and he's got a clothing line called Boulevard. And I'm sitting there going, it's a Soldier Boy, who cares, He's dead, no one cares. No one will go to a concert. He can't sell 10 people. But for whatever reason, all of a sudden, people like him and anybody else with any clout and any fame became personalities. They became the people that all of a sudden, with no resumes really, other than you were a musician, people want to listen to now or will follow. And that brand did well for 3-4 years. It probably would have been better. I know the owners, Ryan and all them, they ran it in the ground, and also kind of cheated their own partners. But otherwise, it would have been probably even bigger. But I didn't quite understand that at the time. How are people following Soldier? Why would anybody care about his brand? And it was kind of almost like a Pied Piper effect. And you see that with a lot of people. The Hot Tua girl. I mean, come on. This is a perfect example of what I'm just trying to say. The Hot Tua girl sold crypto. And basically everybody that bought into it got fleeced.
That's correct. Yeah.
They got fleeced. And then she probably didn't even know who she was getting in bed with.
Yeah, exactly. They came to her and came with an idea.
Give you money.
It's like, give you money, you know what I'm saying? And this crypto is going to be, and
she may go to jail for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
and again,
possible.
That's a perfect example. The Catch Me Outside girl. Like, there's no substance whatsoever.
But that's what I'm saying. It's that flash, it's that 15 minutes of fame. And that's what I said is, what do you do with that 15 minutes of fame? Like I told, the Hot Tua girl, she should have fucking done everything. If money grab was there, take everything. Because, like I said, you are going, like I said, she could be possibly going to jail now because.
But I mean, the fact that people even bought into this shit is the brainwash. Like, the people are giving her this platform because of one quote on one street. Okay, let me show another example. Gary Vee was talking about this the other day. That I don't know if you guys remember that girl that went to Chili's and took a bite of the, what's it called? The mozzarella stick. And I stretched the mozzarella stick out.
The cheese.
Yeah. That did more, and this was a genuine video.
Right.
That did more for Chili's third quarter profits than anything they've ever seen or done or paid for.
Right.
And it was free.
It was free.
And it was free. And it's like, you're talking about, the influencing is crazy.
Well, that's what I'm getting at is they're encouraging that because, especially corporate America is encouraging that because, just like you said, that's free advertising.
Of course.
Now, if you have to go to Tom Cruise, Denzel, one of them motherfuckers, ask them to do a commercial, it's going to cost you a fucking arm and a leg.
So now take that point. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that, of course. Now, can they also not only support these people, right? Like, give them products, give them money, whatever else. But now with more money than anybody else, can they also place these people?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So they can-
I don't think the hot tour girl was this place.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is
lucky.
if Nike wants to create a new hot kid, they can go ahead and start, and they have 100 tries, 1,000,000 tries at it.
Right.
They only need to hit one, and what's it cost?
Yeah.
But here's the thing too. I think it's easy for them to build these people up because they control the media and the narrative.
Everything, yes.
And then
And they know the
it's
technology
super
better than anybody.
easy at any given moment. They know they have that person because they could take them down, like the Hawk Tuah girl. Maybe,
Or just like the serial killer.
yeah, maybe they didn't agree, or maybe they got tired of her, or maybe she wasn't conforming to what they wanted, and so now they set her up with these people and they take her down. It's you build them up, you take them down, and then they're forgot about 2 days later, and they're on to the next person. So, and it's like with a celebrity, and when you're talking about like famous movie stars, even when they fall, you look at like what's his face, the Tiger Blood guy. God, I can't think of his name now.
Or are you talking about? I mean, Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, just like any. There's still people that are like, oh, I still mess with that. I'll still watch his movies. I'll still do this. Like, and it doesn't matter what they've done. It's harder to take them. Even like you look at even O.J. Simpson. After he's allegedly killed a couple people are still asking for his autographs, having him come on podcasts. Like, you can't no matter what you do, you can't get rid of that guy. Charlie Sheen's another one.
Yeah.
Supposedly he's got AIDS and giving AIDS to people and all this crazy
yeah,
shit. And he's still popular.
Right.
It's like they're too powerful, and they realize that. So now it's like, let's get these other people. They're nobodies when they start, and we can dump them, but they'll be nobodies.
Control the narrative.
Yeah, and they'll be nobodies when we're done with them.
We control the narrative. People will go to their deathbed believing this stuff.
Yeah.
And then now we got a question. Let's take it full circle now back.
So,
Is this guy the UnitedHealthcare guy? The killer. Is he? I mean, is he one of
them? I got you.
The one thing I will say about him, though, when I looked at him, they showed him he had like the frizzy hair and he's kind of disheveled, and just the look on his face totally reminded me of the Aurora movie theater shooter, the way he looked.
Yeah.
Frizzy
Great.
hair, weird face, like the same face.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just the look of like, you're going to jail forever or something, or if that's like, hey, I've been programmed.
Yeah.
Even the guy didn't have the hair, but even the shooter that was in Tucson that shot at, what's her name?
Griffith?
Yeah, Gafford or whatever.
Gafford, yeah.
He even had that weird look, and it had a lot of ramblings and stuff online. And it's like, it's almost like they program these people and they have that same MO. They have that same look. Their face looks the same. It always kind of looks a little distorted. It's just crazy. I don't know, man. It's crazy, but
Anyway, you talk about let's jump into our next subject. Tearing down the old celebrities. Now we're using the new celebrities or the influencers, tearing down the old ones. New development on the Diddy front. We haven't talked about Puff Daddy here, a couple of weeks, stuff like that, because it's been relatively quiet. Just because a couple of days ago, the lawyer that's handling 102 cases right now just got a civil lawsuit against none other than Jay-Z.
Jigga what?
Jigga who? So allegedly, after the VMAs, I believe in 2013, after the VMAs,
Was it 13 or 3?
2013, I think.
13. No, my bad.
yeah, a bodyguard, yeah, check that. Bodyguard pulled, at that time was supposed to be a 13-year-old girl, to backstage where she later went to an after party at the VMAs. Allegedly, this is what they're claiming in the lawsuit, that Puff Daddy went first in the room, raped the girl first, then Jay-Z came second, raped the girl, and then there was a unnamed celebrity X right now that watched the whole thing. And she didn't participate, but she watched the whole thing. Girl then got up, got her clothes back on, and then took off. So if this happened in 13...
No, it's actually, they say 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, 2000.
See, that's what I thought. Okay.
Okay, so that even changes a little bit more than what we'll talk about that too. That changes a little bit more with 50 Cent posters there.
Yeah.
So that would make her, well, if she was 13 at the time,
I'll make her 37, give or take.
37 right now, right?
yeah.
Correct. Yeah. They said, her life was never the same. She's always, had trouble. She's never been able to hold down a job. So on and so forth. Here's one of my many questions about this whole situation. Where the fuck was her parents at this time? Because if my 13-year-old daughter comes home and says I was raped by celebrity A, celebrity B, and celebrity C, watch it. Oh, you damn well know. I'm heading down, first of all, to the police, you know.
Yeah.
If I can't get a hold of them, you know, I can't get up there because they got bodyguards, whatever. So I can't get to them. Like I want to whoop their ass. So I got to go to the police first. And then I'm going to every media outlet blasting their ass.
But think about this. You're 13. You're probably not supposed to be out. You probably said you're staying at a friend's house or something to be even out at the VMAs in the first place. So you're probably, if something happens, you're probably not saying nothing because you're going to be in, you feel like at that age, you're going to be in so much trouble that you were even out that if it did happen, you're not going to say anything. So
Let's put it this way. There's only a few scenarios, I think, that we can even justify. First of all, 13-year-old kids being at the VMAs, right? Like either they're with somebody whose parents have pull, right?
Well, she
didn't have a ticket.
Yeah,
She was outside and she was talking to all the limo drivers, and then supposedly one of them then introduced her.
yes, and then they brought her back in. That's what I'm saying.
Like that's crazy. That's even crazier.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how'd you get there? You know, again, are your parents? You know, Oregon is just who knows, man.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Jay-Z has, has hit back hard. He wasn't like Puff Daddy. He wasn't like, he came out with a statement. Basically, he's calling the lawyer ambulance chaser. He says just because another celebrity is in trouble, don't think that you can come drag my name into this and, argue that he's going to fight this tooth and nail and come back at them. My thing, because like I said, the dates wasn't matching up, but now they really do match up because, 50 Cent, has come out and, put some things on it, on his post. And, at the time, Puff Daddy was dating J-Lo at the time. So
Supposedly there was a third unnamed female celebrity that was in the room when this was all taking place.
yeah. So, here's my thing. My question is, do you place, and here's my thing, even if you place her with her, of course they were dating. So she gonna say, of course I was with them at that time, but can you place her at that date and time? Can somebody remember around that? I'm like, first of all, how are you gonna prove that? How are you gonna prove that?
Probably any video that was there
20 years later?
Like security cameras probably purged by now,
Right.
20 years later. Yeah, there's no way other than maybe if there's somewhere they still have the cell phone records. Even back 2000, cell phones weren't really.
I mean, let's put it this way. They supposedly have videotapes.
Yeah.
There's
definitely videotapes.
Videotapes and collections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe Diddy filmed it. You never know, or somebody filmed it.
Yeah. Supposedly this lawyer said he's seen videotapes of what went on, what they confiscated from Puff Daddy's house. I don't know why here's my thing. If you're gonna burn down the house, why do it so fucking slowly? Is my thing. If you're gonna come out with the shit. You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
bigger plan. Look,
They got to build a case, and
we still don't even know the Epstein, nor will we ever.
I think we will ever. There's too. Let's be real.
There's too many people.
There is too many high level current and former presidents that possibly will be on that tape.
Yeah, of course.
So why the fuck would anybody ever?
It's above anybody's pay grade to ever
Yes,
put it out. And
that's one thing that I think.
So they serve, the celebrities up now.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Is if you have somebody that's craving for red meat, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta give them the Wagyu. You know what I'm saying? You can give them this, B grade stuff because they still hungry for some meat. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like you just said, is they want to forget about the Epstein shit. So why? Let's serve up.
And let's also throw the celebrities out there because people's feelings and attachments to celebrities, people look.
There's a lot of stuff. With Jay-Z, this isn't the first time there's ever been allegations against him about possibly being with an underage girl. there was rumors with him and Foxy Brown when she was like 12 or 13.
I mean, Foxy, Aaliyah was,
Yeah.
was underage.
Foxy, and Foxy supposedly, allegedly, even responded to a couple of these tweets.
Yeah, well, she just did the Colt, she did like
frozen,
the frozen
symbol,
emoji,
and then also an eyes.
yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is she.
Well, why not stay away from it?
Well, she was. I think she was hurt when Jay-Z mentioned her in that song, where he said, "I never dipped my whatever in Foxy's box or whatever."
Yeah.
He said that, and she came out and said, whatever, we were just friends, like almost covering for him. But like you said, her, Aaliyah, probably other younger musical artists.
Even when he first started, the rumor again was when he first started talking to Beyonce.
Yeah,
she was a teen and stuff. I mean, maybe she was,
I mean, these are all allegations. Nobody knows, but
allegedly.
yeah, but it's just strange that he's always kind of got the pass, even though there's been stuff out there, and now it's coming back out. But nobody's talking about nobody's bringing up the old stuff. They're just talking about this is false. It's almost like Jay-Z's somewhat untouchable.
Well,
so was Diddy for a while.
Yeah.
But you read some interesting things from Roger Goodell because Jay-Z's tied in heavily with
NFL.
the NFL, especially doing for the halftime show and stuff like that. And what you told me, what you read is they're not. I mean, their relationship's all good.
Yes,
they said they were fine with his response to the lawsuit and stuff like that, and everything's moving forward. So here's a question for you, Mitch. What would it take, other than videotape evidence, for them to come out and say, hey, we got to distance ourselves from them? I mean, what?
No, I think you're exactly right. I think it's videotape evidence.
Gotcha.
I think it's videotape.
Here's what I think. The second, the third, the fourth, the fifth girl coming out saying, that happened to me too with Jay-Z. And you build up enough people, kind of like what happened to Diddy, where the floodgates open, then there's going to be outcries for the NFL to distance.
Let me add this. We could be seeing one, and it could backlash something. I mean, again, just be prepared for the op on all this. Honestly, 50 Cent could be an op for all I know. He could be playing the controlled opposition, making it look like. Because, I mean, I will say this. You got to also question in this day and age, if people ruffle enough feathers, and they're not taken out, usually they're part of the programming. You know what I mean? And what I thought it was and Jay-Z's response, and then just think about this for a second and formulate your own opinion on all this stuff. But he mentions conspiracy theorists in his response. Like in a legal platform, he mentions, conspiracy, which is very interesting to me. Because again, this is by now so many different times that they've mentioned conspiracy. Like he mentions it in his legal response. They mentioned it in the North Carolina floods when, people were kind of getting upset with FEMA. And I'll just keep going. And I said that on our show, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks, whenever that was, that this is all going to be part of another drilling and narrative that people can't talk and say these type of things. They can't.
So you think it's a way of quieting?
It's going to be a way of, again, getting ready for a reset. And in my opinion, that reset's going to come with, you say these type of things, guess what? You don't have access to your money, your health care, like we talked about. You don't have access to driving your car. Again, this is where they're painting enough of a picture that I see it clearly.
Why do you think they're pushing so hard to make everybody have an electric vehicle? Because old gas-powered vehicles don't have all the computer chips that they can hack into and control. So think about it. If they wanted to say you can't drive, they could just disable your vehicle electronically from a satellite, and you're done.
Disable your life.
Yep.
If you don't act accordingly.
Kind of like the movie with Will Smith, where they shut down all his credit cards and
Oh, you're talking about Enemy of the State.
I'll just say
that movie was well ahead of its time, because the stuff that was going on in that movie now is like common knowledge. When that movie came out, people were like, they can't do that. There's no way. And now it's like that's all common knowledge that stuff happens.
And then my next question is, they back then they already had that technology.
Yeah.
But you got to kind of get people again. Everything's easing people into it so that they're comfortable. It's about people being comfortable so they don't act in a way that can't be predicted. That's because everything has. guess what? The powers that be want everything to be predictable.
Right.
They want us to, when they do this, they run here. We control them this way.
Right.
You know, whatever. If we have this candidate, they act this way. They act against each other. Everything wants to be predictable. You start acting unpredictable, guess what? They gotta sit there and, you know, kind of dial that in because they need to get their results, and everything's based on action and reaction, you know? And at least that's my opinion on it. But again, you know, just watch these words. They're going to punish people for having conspiracy. They already do. In fact, I'll say this: not only being shadow banned, you know, a few times, but you know that a couple shows ago we did the McMartin family, right? Really happened. We spoke basically. It was all true. It was basically true. So I don't even think we were that strongly opinionated about it.
Right.
We just kind of talked about it. You know, that clip that we had on the show, I put on TikTok. You know, when it first came out. Got huge traction the first hour, and then got pulled. Said it didn't meet community guidelines. So I thought maybe you know the pound, you know, like the tags that I used were too strong. You know,
Gotcha.
you know. Okay, so this time I did it without tags, and started getting huge traction again, or like you know within minutes, and got pulled again. Community guidelines. And TikTok supposedly anything free almost goes, you know.
Well, supposedly TikTok's getting banned for the next year.
We didn't get we didn't get
So just very interesting early on, you know, like early on, you know, like with you know like on this stuff, you know, there was nothing. I mean, it's basically like taking a newspaper article from 1983 and just re-talking about it. That's really what we did.
Yep.
You know, and for whatever reason, they you know it's like they want to rewrite history. It seems like I mean you know like. That's what it feels like. It's because
That's what the internet was designed for. Because there's no written history. It's all digital. I could go and flip a button and the history's changed.
And
you're just misremembering it.
And I think that's also part of the Mandela effect.
It's
The Mandela effect is
that.
kind of them testing that a few times over to see if anybody really can recall or freak out. Because again, history is who tells it last. You know, I mean, and for the longest, you know,
it's the
that's
truth.
gonna be the truth. Yeah,
That is true. All right, man. Like I said, we had way more topics on there. But,
exactly.
You know, we got way more shows. We didn't even get into TikTok ban too. That's just gonna be crazy.
We didn't get into the drones, the mysterious drones.
Randy Moss. You know,
but
prayers out to him.
Yeah,
whatever
definitely. But we, you know, these are topics that, you know, if they're still relevant in a week, we'll talk about it. It just, you know, like I said, you know, news topics, they move at light speed, bro. That's what it's like. This will be a topic for 2 weeks, and then another thing will pop up big. So hopefully we'll have some good stuff. Like I said, man, as we come to the end of the year, it always gets frantic for some reason. It just always gets crazy. But all right, man, we're in the show. You know what we do? Thoughts of the day. Tatiana, what you got?
You know what? I'm gonna speak of Randy Moss. I'm gonna go and touch on that real quick. This is my thought of the day.
Go ahead.
There's okay, so supposedly Larry Fitzgerald's father, who's a reporter in Minnesota, breaks a tweet or story that Randy Moss and is suffering from from cancer. You know, I think it's liver cancer if I'm not mistaken. Don't you know? And then Randy Moss's son responds to that and says that he's wrong and please respect their privacy. It's his dad. They're fine, but it's not that what you're saying. And then I thought it was interesting because then Larry Fitzgerald jumps in and retweets his dad or whatever and says, hey, give them their family their privacy, pops, blah, 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 blah. And I just thought that was interesting because one, why wouldn't you just call your dad? Why wouldn't you just call him? Why wouldn't you just pull that out of respect? Well, I'll touch on it later, but I think that, there's controlled opposition in this world right now that, for how it just, there's a bunch of eyes watching everything. And when people act a certain way, I think it justifies how the public will act and how the public, will mimic. Because everybody, again, they're influencers because they're influential. But with that said, on a more serious note, whatever Randy Moss is going through, not because he's a celebrity or not because he's, like super talented, but, he was, I guess the best way to describe this is he was part, like if you like sports, he was part of your life for years and years and years, And for me, for fantasy football teams, or he was one of the people. He was never my favorite player, but he was one of the few people that has come along and whatever game was on with him, I wanted to watch. I can say that about him. I can say that about Mike Vick. I can say that about Mike Tyson boxing. I can say that about a few people here and there. And he's definitely one of those. So he holds all-time great status with me, regardless of where he ranks as wide receiver. And so with that said, it's always, anybody going through it, but it's always shocking. So I just hope, him and his family, thoughts and prayers to them. And, they get through whatever they're fighting, and they get their privacy that they deserve, honestly, on the matter. And they get through whatever it is that's, that they're, whatever the situation is, wish them nothing but the best.
There you go. There you go. Grady.
Well, I'm going to kind of piggyback off that. Obviously, holiday, a lot of stress. It's getting cold.
True that.
There's a lot of sickness going around. So make sure, don't get too stressed over the holiday. Get your rest in. Make sure you're still doing the things that you need to do to stay healthy. Take your vitamins. Get your sleep, because getting sick, I'm starting to feel a little something coming on. Hopefully not, but just be careful out there and make sure you're taking care of yourself first and foremost.
There you go. There you go. Hey, I know, a little bit. This time, like you said, it's stressful this time of year. Like I said, I hate it. I'm on the record. I do not like this time of year. But I want people who kind of think like I do and don't like this time of year. It's almost over. We got 3 weeks, man. We got 3 weeks. Hang in there, brother. Hang in there. Everything gonna be all right, man. All the Santa Claus bullshit is gonna be over, and we're gonna go on to the next year. I'm with you. Stay up. We love you. Go.